Diyos ang pasasalamat para sa isa na namang napakabuting araw at sa pagkakataon para matuto. Ako si Teacher Royce at hayaan nyo na gabayan kayo na gawin natin ang math ay maging madali lang. Simulan na natin. Tara nang pag-usapan at matuto tungkol sa rational numbers. Ito ang ating mga objectives. Number 1, for you to define rational numbers. Number 2, express rational numbers from fraction form to decimal form and vice versa. At number 3, perform operations on rational numbers. 1-minute activity muna. Pakihanda ng inyong ballpen, lapis at papel. Ilalagay nyo ang inyong sagot sa inyong answer sheet. I will read the direction. You need to read the questions carefully and write your answer on your answer sheet. Ngayon, handa na? Your timer starts now. Time's up. Alamin na natin ang mga sagot sa bawat items. Here are the answers. For number 1, the answer is letter A, 1/6. Number 2, the answer is letter D, 9/10. And for number 3, the answer is letter C, 28. Nakuha nyo ba ang mga tamang sagot? Okay lang naman kung hindi. Dahil aalamin natin kung paano nakuha ang mga tamang sagot. The definition of rational numbers. Rational number in arithmetic, a number that can be represented as the quotient P over Q of two integers such that Q should not be equal to 0. In addition to all the fractions, the set of rational numbers includes all the integers, each of which can be written as a quotient with the integer as the numerator and 1 as the denominator. Additional, rational derived from the word ratio, which means quotient, the answer in division. Rational numbers can simply be written as a result of dividing two integers. Here are some examples of rational numbers. Letter A, 15/2. Letter B, -24/9. In simplest form, -8/3. Letter C, 13 divided by 5, which is equal to 13/5. Letter D, -7 divided by 2, that is equal to -7/2. Letter E, the integer 15, which can be written as the ratio of 15/1. In letter F, the integer negative 24 can be written as the ratio of negative 24 over 1. Now we proceed to expressing rational numbers from fraction form to decimal form and vice versa. We will start with expressing rational numbers from fraction form to decimal form. Here are the examples. Letter A, 15 over 2, and letter B, negative 4 over 5. In order for us to transform these fractions into decimal form, we need to get the quotient of the numerator by the denominator. So we have 15 divided by 2. And the answer is 7.5. 15 over 2 is 7.5 in decimal. Same as with letter B, get the quotient of the numerator 4 by the denominator 5. 4 divided by 5 is 0.8. And we place the negative sign to 0.8 because 4 over 5 is negative. So, ganun lang ang gagawin ninyo para maging decimal form ang isang fraction. We now go to expressing rational numbers in decimal form to fraction form. We will discuss first the terminating decimals. We have the examples, letter A, 3.54, and letter B, negative 0.2. We need to identify first the decimal parts of the given rational numbers. For letter A, the decimal part is 0.54. So there are two decimal parts. In letter B, negative 0.2, it has one decimal part, and that is 0.2. Here is the solution. We need to get the ratio of the decimal part of the number and the proper power of 10. Since there are two decimal parts in letter A, we will divide this by 10 raised to 2. Then the ratio will be added to the whole number part of the number. So we will have 3, the whole number part, plus the decimal part of the number divided by the proper power of 10. 10 raised to 2. 10 raised to 2 is equal to 100. So we will have 3 plus 54 over 100. 54 over 100 can be reduced to 27 over 50, then added by 3. We now get the sum of 3 and 27 over 50, or 177 over 50. For letter B, we will divide the decimal part of the given number, that is 2, and divide it by the proper power of 10. Since there is one decimal part, we will divide -2 by 10 raised to 1. And 10 raised to 1 is just equal to 10. So we have -2 over 10. And -2 over 10 can be reduced to -1 over 5. Sana nakuha? Ngayon, diretso na tayo sa non-terminating decimal. We have the examples. Letter A, 0.5555, extending infinitely. And we have letter B, -0.4545, extending infinitely. For the solution, we first identify the digit or digits that are repeating. For letter A, we have one repeating digit, and that is 5. For letter B, we have two repeating digits, and those are 45 or 45. Next, we'll let the variable n be the non-terminating decimal. For letter A, 0.5555. For letter B, let n be equal to 0.4545. For now, we will disregard the negative sign. Now, let us continue. We will multiply n by the proper power of 10. Since we have one repeating digit in letter A, we will multiply n by 10 raised to 1. And 10 raised to 1 is just equal to 10. We get the product of 10 times n and 10 times the non-terminating decimal 0.5555. We will have the product 10n is equal to 5.55555. Next, we will subtract this by n. So we have 10n equals 5.5555 minus n equals 0.5555. Then we will have the difference 9n is equal to 5. Dividing both sides by 9, we will obtain n is equal to 5 over 9. 5 over 9 is equivalent to the non-terminating decimal 0.55555. Now, for letter B, since we have two repeating digits, we will multiply n by the proper power of 10, and that is 10 raised to 2. And 10 raised to 2 is equal to 100. We now then get the product of 100 times n and 100 times the non-terminating decimal 0.454545. We will have the product of 100n is equal to 45.454545, and we will subtract this by n. 100n equals 45.4545 minus n equals 0.454545. Then the difference is 99, n equals 45. Dividing both sides by 99, we will obtain n is equal to -5 over 11. The final answer is because the non-terminating decimal given in letter B is negative. So negative 5 over 11 is equivalent to the non-terminating decimal, negative 0.454545. For letter C, the third example for non-terminating decimal. So we have the given 0.122222. Just like a while ago, we identify the digit or digits that are repeating. So we have one repeating digit for letter C, and that is 2. Now, we let n be the non-terminating decimal 0.122222, and we will multiply this by the proper power of 10. Since there is one repeating digit, we will multiply n by 10 raised to 1. And 10 raised to 1 is equal to 10. We now get the product of 10 times n and 10 times the non-terminating decimal 0.122222. We will get the product of 10n is equal to 1.2222, and subtract that by n. We have 10n equals 1.2222 minus n equals 0.1222. The difference, we will have 9n is equal to 1.1. Dividing both sides by 9, we will obtain n is equal to 1.1 over 9. If you notice, the numerator is in decimal form. Kailangan integer ang maging numerator natin. So to do that, we again multiply the numerator 1.1 and the denominator 9 by 10. So we will obtain 11 over 90. 11 over 90 is equivalent to the non-terminating decimal 0.12222, extending infinitely. Tuloy-tuloy na tayo sa operations on rational numbers. Simulan natin sa addition and subtraction of similar fractions. Let us start. Number 1, the sum of 4 over 5 plus 9 over 5. All you have to do is to copy the denominator and add the numerator. So we will have 4 plus 9 all over 5, and that is equal to 13 over 5. If the results can be reduced to lowest term, you may do so. Number 2, the sum of 1 over 5 plus negative 2 over 5. Copy the denominator, then add the numerator. 1 plus negative 2 all over 5, and that is equal to negative 1 over 5. Number 3, the difference of 5 over 4 minus 2 over 4. Copy the denominator, then subtract the numerator. 5 minus 2 all over 4, and that is equal to 5 plus negative 2 all over 4 equals 3 over 4. Number 4, we have negative 7 over 3 minus 2 over 3. Copy the denominator, then subtract the numerator. Negative 7 minus 2 all over 3, or negative 7 plus negative 2 all over 3. We will have negative 9 over 3, reduced to lowest term, negative 3 over 1, or simple. Now, let's proceed with addition and subtraction of dissimilar fractions. For number 1, we have 4 over 5 plus 9 over 6. If you can simplify each fraction right there and then, you may do so. Like 9 over 6 can be reduced into 3 over 2. Now, we are dealing with smaller quantities. Next, we need to identify the least common denominator of 5 and 2. Or simply, multiply 5 and 2 to get 10. Then, divide 10 by the first denominator and multiply it by the numerator. 10 divided by 5 is 2 times the numerator, 4. So we have 4 times 2 plus 10 divided by the second denominator, that is equal to 5, times the numerator, 3. 3 times 5. Or you can do the cross product technique. The numerator of the first fraction times the denominator of the second fraction. 4 times 2. Then plus the cross product of the numerator of the second fraction times the denominator of the first fraction. 3 times 5. Nasa inyo kung ano ang gusto nyong gamitin. Now, let us proceed. Evaluating this, we have 4 times 2 is 8, 3 times 5 is 15. So, we add, that is 23 over 10. Next, number 2. Negative 2 over 3 plus 5 over 4. Get the LCD or least common denominator, or multiply 3 times 4, that is 12, and get the cross product of negative 2 times 4 plus 5 times 3. We will obtain negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, plus 5 times 3 is 15, all over 12. We will have 7 over 12. Now, let us subtract negative 2 over 6 minus 4 over 7. Negative 2 over 6 can be reduced to negative 1/3. Then we have minus 4 over 7. Get the LCD by multiplying 3 times 7, that is 21. And get the cross product of negative 1 and 7 minus the cross product of 4 times 3. We will obtain negative 7 minus 12. And that is equivalent to negative 7 plus negative 12. all over 21. And finally, we will obtain negative 19 over 21. Number 4, 7 over 2 minus negative 3 over 4. Get the least common denominator, or by multiplying 2 and 4, we have 8. Then the cross product of 7 times 4 minus the cross product of negative 3 times 2. We will have 28 minus negative 6. And that is equal to 28 plus 6 all over 8. That is equal to 34 over 8 or 17 over 4. Now, let us proceed to multiplication and division of rational numbers. Number 1, let us get the product of 4 over 5 times 6 over 5. All you have to do is to multiply the numerator by the numerator and denominator by the denominator. We have 4 times 6 is 24. 5 times 5 is 25. Number 2, negative 4 over 3 times 3 over 7. Numerator times the numerator, denominator times the denominator. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. 3 times 7 is 21. And negative 12 over 21 can be reduced into negative 4 over 7. Next, for the division of rational numbers, negative 4 over 3 divided by 5 over 6. We need to get the reciprocal of the divisor and proceed to multiplication. Our divisor is 5 over 6. Its reciprocal is 6 over 5. Now, let us proceed to multiplication. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. We have negative 4 times 6 is negative 24 over 3 times 5, 15. Negative 24 over 15 can be reduced to negative 8 over 5. Last example, item number 4, 2 over 4 divided by 5. So we get the reciprocal of the divisor. The divisor is 5. Its reciprocal is 1 over 5. Then multiply it by 2 over 4. Again, numerator times the numerator, denominator times the denominator. We have 2 times 1 is 2, 4 times 5 is 20. We have 2 over 20, and it can be reduced into 1 over 10. So that's how you multiply and divide rational numbers. Sana nasundan. So ayan, balikan natin ang activity natin kanina. Number 1, which of these fractions is the smallest? So by transforming all fractions to decimal, the smallest value is 1 over 6, that is equal to 0.16. Because 1 over 3 is 0.33, 1 over 2 is 0.50, and 1 over 5 is 0.20. So we have verified that the correct answer is letter A, 1 over 6. Number 2, what is the value of 0.9 as a fraction? So, transforming decimal to fraction, count the number of decimal part, and divide that by the proper power of 10. So we have 1 decimal part, that is the number 9. So we will divide 9 by 10. The answer is letter D, 9 over 10. And number 3, on a Saturday, 42 people bought motorcycles at motor trade sales. Of the 42 customers, 2 over 3 bought new motorcycles. How many individuals bought new motorcycles? So by multiplying 42 and 2 over 3, we will obtain 42 times 2 over 3 is 84 over 3. That is equivalent to 28. So, ayun. Sana meron kayong natutunan kahit paano at natulungan ko kayo sa inyong lesson. Maraming salamat sa inyong pakikinig at panonood sa ating video. Nawa ay natulungan ko kayo sa inyong lesson at nagabayan ko kayo para ito ay inyong mas maunawaan. Magkita-kita ulit tayo sa susunod na video. Uli, maraming salamat at paalam!